So people ask why I left a company who was in hyper growth mode where I'd brought on lots of awesome projects to start BILD Consulting. So it seems kind of crazy, right? To leave a company that was bringing in about 15 million in sales that I had helped establish the ground for, to take a leap of faith and go out on my own, right? That doesn't really make sense, does it? For my entire adult life and career, I have worked in construction real estate in many different facets. And I absolutely love what this has to offer. I love that you get to see something built from the ground up. I love that you get to have a hand in people building their dreams. And it's been something that I've been drawn to ever since I was at university. And getting to see the industry from a different lens, whether it be working in tech. I worked at a company as they IPO'd on the New York Stock Exchange, which was amazing, and getting to see that bloom. I started off in recruitment and getting to see how construction companies staffed up. And then working at a developer and general contractor, getting to see not only how acquisitions were made, but how projects were built, really shaped me and built different lenses for how different parts of the industry work. So after working for a company for a while, I thought, how hard could it be to go out on my own? If only I knew then what I knew now. One of the things that I noticed was business owners struggling in the market. I saw it firsthand when I would see real estate brokers bringing in clients who we would then build their projects for them. And there was a lot of pieces in the middle that didn't fall on anyone's plate. It wasn't the engineer, it wasn't the broker, it wasn't us. And then the client was left with, I don't really know how to get a business license, or do I need to have a different set of eyes on this? Things like that they wouldn't know, and it's not necessarily something that you can just Google. So I found that there was a complete lack of guidance out there for owner-operators, people especially who were coming here from different countries and had no idea how to navigate our system. And that was something that I found myself quite knowledgeable about and also quite passionate about. So I thought, let's jump in head first and start my own company. There was a large gap that I saw, and the biggest piece was clients needed somebody to come in and manage the whole project, the whole way through, from site selection to helping with their lease negotiation to assembling their entire team. So your engineers, your architects, your designers, your consultants, construction, myself, everything like that. To then once that space is built, if you're building a restaurant, who's gonna have my POS system? What bank am I going to use? Should I be using a recruiter to hire people? There were so many different pieces, from the idea that they had or the franchise that they bought to actually coming to a bricks and mortar location and being able to open. So it really boils down to, it wasn't just one person's job between the engineer or something like that. People really needed someone to come and be the go-to person for everything going on site. And that is where I came in. Of course, starting your own company isn't without risk. When I left and I started BILD, I was terrified. I was taking a limb. I'd never had my own business in this capacity before. This was an industry that I was familiar with, but I was starting a completely new niche, and you lack stability. Although I had left with a couple clients, but what I will say is you really need to have faith in yourself and believe in your own vision. It's honestly like, what do they say? Like, you have to just be delusional to make it. And I think that that's really what you have to sink into is, I'm going to make it. There is no other option. I'm going to work harder than anybody else to make sure this company gets off the ground and my clients are satisfied. And at the end of the day, you can't beat that. If you have a vision and if you're going to outwork the competition, then you're going to succeed. Was it worth it? Yes, 100%. I would do it over and over and over again. It was the best decision I ever made. I couldn't be happier working with clients from around the world, around the province, getting them to build their dreams here in Vancouver and then expanding them from Vancouver and beyond. It is just such a fulfilling feeling. If I could go back and give myself some advice with starting BILD, I would definitely say finding a mentor in the industry a lot sooner. I did that around the 2-year mark, only because up to the 2 years, I just felt like I was drowning under projects and under systems and trying to figure out what I was doing and what the company was becoming, as well as fully managing every other piece of the pie that goes into a build. But when you have a mentor, they could ease that burden. They could say, here's a system that you could use. May I point you in this direction? Have you ever thought about X? And I didn't see the value in it in the beginning because I just was so inundated with my own mindset. But I think that once you open your eyes and let somebody else in, I think that that would be the biggest and most helpful piece to somebody starting on their own, especially in a niche where you're like, I don't have a ton of other people who I could ask for this. So to have somebody who you could lean on and be like, hey, what would you do in this situation? Or is this normal, or whatever it may be. Another thing that I would note in having your own business is you need to be risk tolerant. There is storms that will come. There is constantly a looming recession. There's so many different factors that go into the world beyond your own world. And you need to have the risk tolerance to go, okay, if this happens, how are we going to pivot? If this happens, we're going to manage, or whatever it is in your own world or in your own inner vocabulary that you want to tell yourself to make sure that things go right. You need to have the risk tolerance to be able to manage whatever is thrown at you, whether it's internal or external. And that can be really tough. And I would honestly say that not everybody is built for that level of risk, especially if you have a family or kids or a mortgage or things like that where you are locked in. Stability is really comfortable. So you will have to think internally, is this something that I could do or that I could tolerate? So in closing, I am so happy that I started BILD. I love this company. I love the clients I get to work with, and I love the person that I've become in this entrepreneurial role. I think that anybody who is thinking about it should definitely take the step into looking what entrepreneur life has for them. It's not for everybody, but it's definitely for me, and I couldn't be happier with this new transition in my life.